Test 2, the leaving behind your occupation. So Elisha, he's a successful farmer. And what does he do with his I guess, special oxen? He cooks them, yeah. And what does he do for farmers? I'm guessing their plowing equipment is the most important thing. What does he do with the plowing equipment? He burns it. It was like, this is Elisha's way of, this is God, like, you leave. When I call you into ministry, you leave whatever was your occupation, whatever you had in mind, whatever you were doing, even if you're a successful farmer, when I call you, you leave. Now, there are many people that just can't do that, and I don't want to throw, water on you. It's just a test, and I think the Lord often can call people at any age, with any occupation. When the Lord called me, I literally was mad. I was like, Lord, I just paid for 4 years of pre-med. I just spent a lot of time in college to be a doctor. It doesn't seem like, it seems crazy to have this change suddenly after everything I've invested in. But the Lord's like, hey, that's the way it is. You decide. And I see some choose to leave, and others go, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not condemning, and I don't think you lost your salvation or whatever. It's just one of these things. You got to leave the occupation. Here's the example of Jesus. He went to the apostles. They pulled the boats up. Some of the apostles were fishermen, and they left everything to follow Jesus. They left their nets. They left the family. Or Matthew, Jesus left that place. As he walked along, he saw a tax collector. Matthew went to, he was a CPA, is that? Went to tax collecting school. He's sitting in his office. He's very successful. And Jesus says, no, I want you to follow me. You're leaving behind that occupation. And he got up and followed him. Peter spoke up. Look, he said, we have left everything to follow you. I don't know what all the other apostles did for a living, but they all left it to follow the Lord. This does remind me of the military. I know people say, that is crazy that God would call you to. But wait a second. When Uncle Sam calls you, you leave. Whatever, if there's a draft and Uncle Sam calls you, you can't just go, oh, I'm a farmer, I'm a dentist, I'm a garbage collector, I have a business, a restaurant. When Uncle Sam calls you, you go. The third test is to leave the family and your friends and your homestead goodbye. So I grew up in New Jersey. I love New Jersey. I never wanted to leave New Jersey. But when you're in ministry, God decides where you're going to go. He determines. This is like the military. You don't tell the military, okay, if I got to serve in the army, I want to go to Hawaii. No. The military tells you where you're going. Robin and I have been ministering a long time. Believe it or not, this is our 7th move. So we don't even know where home is. I know you might think home is in Mars, but you understand we've lived in ministry 7 different places. And so it's like, you don't know. I was talking to some of the other pastors, and they were like, oh yeah, I had to move to 9 different churches. So the Lord moved us to Western PA. Now, we found out that it was we were kicking and screaming, but it turned out to be a wonderful thing. Jesus talks about this. As they were walking along the road, a man said to him, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. In other words, if you're going to follow me in ministry, you don't really have a place that is home in a sense. You are just going to be led as I guide you. He said to another man, follow me. But he replied, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. Now, I think it wasn't literally that he was burying his father the next day, but I think this was like, I think my dad's getting older. I don't know if he's going to be around 5 or 10 years. Once my dad passes on in a couple of years, then I'll follow you. And Jesus is like, no, let the dead bury their own dead. You go and proclaim the kingdom of God. You cannot let family hold you back. Now, this is interesting. Still another said, I will follow you, Lord, but first let me go back and say goodbye to my family. Now, I notice Jesus doesn't say outright, no, don't go back and say goodbye to your family. Because I notice Elijah says that to Elijah, right? In verse 20, Elijah says, let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, and then I'll come with you. And Elijah's like, whatever, you follow the Lord. But obviously Elijah does go back, quick goodbye, burns the plow, his oxen, and follows Elijah. So I don't think the Lord is saying you literally can't say goodbye to your parents. But you can't let your parents stop you. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God. I am calling you. You're going to leave the family area. For me, you're leaving New Jersey, and you follow after me.